In the last lecture, we learned how to find documents using mongocollection.find and also to count them using mongocollection.count. In this lecture, we'll learn how to add a filter to find and count so that we can limit the number of documents that are found or counted. So there's a few ways to do this. And the first is to use raw documents, just like the documents that we're using to insert into the collection. So this is will be my first filter, and what I'll do is filter on documents whose value of x equals 0. So it's very easy to do this. You say x of 0, and then I'll add this to the find method. And you can see that the find method has an overload that takes a filter. And I'll do the same for count. Count has the same overload. And I'll print this out. And you'll see it prints out there's only 2 documents that match. And since it's random, I can run it again, and you'll see this time there's 6 that match. And you can see that they all have x of 0. And if we go to our log of our server, you'll see that here's the query. So here's the query. It prints in the MongoDB logs as x0. Let's make it a little more complicated. Let's add an additional filter on y. And we'll append to this, and we'll say that y is greater than 10, say. So to do that, we have to say y, and we create a new document to hold the greater than criteria, and we can say 10. If we run that, we'll see all of our y values are greater than 10, and the MongoDB logs, this is the query that's rendered. Now let's add one more criteria. We'll say that y is not only supposed to be greater than 10, but also less than 90. So we'll append the $LT operator, and we'll run it again. And you'll see that now all the y values are between 10 and 90. And in the MongoDB logs, you'll see this query rendered. x0 and y is both greater than 10 and less than 90. So that's how you do query filters using raw documents. But the driver also introduces a builder for query filters. And I'll show you now how to use that. So let's just comment this out. So it's in a class called filters, which is in com.mongodb.client.model. And to do an equality query, you use the EQ method off filters. And this is a static method. And I'd say x0, and then I can run that. And the same thing, x0 in the MongoDB logs. Now, since these are all static methods, it's convenient to statically import them. So I'm going to statically import the EQ method, and actually I'm going to statically import all the methods and filters. So let's add our next criteria. So since we want to add a query on y, we need to combine that with EQ. And the way you do this with the filters is using the AND method. So I'm going to say AND EQ x0, and then I'll say gt y of 10, and then run that again. And as before, you'll see query is rendered in the MongoDB logs like this. And let's add our final criteria, LT90. So the whole query is there's 3 pieces which are ANDed together. X has to equal 0, y has to be greater than 10, and y has to be less than 90. We'll run that. There's 3 matching results, and in the logs, as before, x0, y is greater than 10 and less than 90. And that's how you apply query filters using the Java driver.